Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I'll be covering the Hellboy Winter Special by Mike Mignola, and also King's Spawn issue 28 by Seth MacFarlane, along with Fernandez and Nunez on the art and the story. I'll now get things ready for the first one to be reviewed. So as we jump into the first one being reviewed, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In essence, it completely does, to which I give a 7 out of 10. It's now time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise with the character. So with this story, it takes place in Iceland, in Reykjavik. And we get to see Hellboy meeting up with some of the locals and also learning about some of the local legends and myths. As we start to move a little bit further into the story, he encounters some ugly looking demons of sorts, and or mythological demons of sorts. And of course we will get to see the cat, but just not when we expect to see it. I think I may have already passed it already. And we also get to meet one of, I guess, these villain locals. Until last but not least, we reach the end of the story, as he's also sharing his story about this particular event. And of course, there's a cat present. So for the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. So first things first, do we get anything time-wise? We certainly do, to which it says that this story is taking place in the area in the time of 1990. We did actually get some comic references, but it links to Hellboy and the Book of Giants, or having to do with giants. Even though it's not recorded on this, I didn't feel it was necessary to add it. Next is the location, to which it takes place in Iceland, of course in Reykjavik. And a little bit later in the story, we return to the BRPD headquarters. The key cast of characters consisting of mainly Hellboy and also some villains that made an appearance. The overall rating for this is a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into King's Spawn. So as we begin to move into King's Spawn, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Not really a lot. As you can see here, we've got a crowned Spawn, of course, along with some of the, I guess, the plasma of sorts that's bleeding or being used from him a bit. And we don't really get to see a lot of that inside the story, to which I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So as the story begins, we get quite a bit of narration from Spawn himself as he's going in hell against a many number of demons of sorts, and in the process getting injured quite a bit. We move a little bit further inside the story as he slowly draws towards, I guess, the center of attention. And last but not least, towards the end, as he also fights off one of the big bads. For the internal art, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. One thing that I must admit that this story is failing a lot of, and that is in regards to comic book references. And I like to see it as a bit of a priority, especially when we're like this far in issues. And do we get any comic references? No, we don't. Next is the area of time, to which we get no indication of that. The location, only through the narration, we learn that it's in hell. and the cast of characters mainly consisting of Spawn. We don't really get the name of some of the other characters that are in Howl. It comes off in a way that it feels that the writer expects the reader to know who some of these demons are, but we don't. To which the overall story rating in this gets a 6.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.